Good afternoon, Flosstube, and welcome to our hotel room. As you can see, we are not at home, nor are we still at the Hyatt, as little one just reminded me when she walked into the teeny tiny bathroom here. So we left StitchCon this morning, and we are in Pennsylvania. We got about 5 hours down today, so 7 hours more to go tomorrow. But there's so much to talk about that we wanted to immediately do a video. First of all, to fill you guys in at home who are living vicariously through us. And second of all, just so that we don't forget. There's going to be stuff that we forget, but hopefully when it's fresh, we can give you a good taste of StitchCon 2019 and the amazing time that it was. You can probably tell that my throat is hoarse because I did a lot of talking this weekend. So I've got my notes. I'm gonna fix this so that I don't cut. Oops, wrong way. I was cutting my head off, so is that better? I don't know, it's a little better. All right, so the date is June 30th. It is Sunday afternoon. So as I mentioned in our last video, we actually left last Monday morning bright and early at 5:30. We had to get through Hartford before rush hour. We didn't hit much traffic at all. Danbury and Waterford, Connecticut were a little congested, but once we hit the New York state line, we cruised all the way out. So we spent the night outside of Youngstown, Ohio, and on Tuesday we spent the entire day visiting my husband's aunts and uncles. We got in 3 sets. We hadn't seen them in 10 or 12 years, so it was great to catch up and see everybody. We were also able to visit a quilting / cross stitch store in Wadsworth, Ohio. Do I remember the name of it? No, I'll put it in the
Do we have the stuff
comment box. And that reminds me, we didn't say that. So what happened when we came into the hotel was we took as much as we could carry with us in one load. So I don't have the bag from that cross stitch shop, so I'm going to show you what we bought at another date. I don't have what I bought at StitchCon. We don't have our smalls exchange stuff. That's out in the car. So when we get home and settled, we will do another video and talk to you about all the stuff that we don't talk to you about today. So yeah, I don't have the stuff from that store. So so Tuesday night we spent the night in Amish country, and Wednesday we did the grand tour of Ohio Amish. We stopped at every thrift store.
What's our Goodwill count?
There's lots of Goodwills and lots of, serve and save and serves, and the Amish thrift stores were wonderful. I found jelly jars, and I found gardening books, and we found lots of stitchy stuff. The very last thrift store that we went to on Wednesday had 43 cross stitch and country crafts magazines. So we went through them back at our lodge and kept some and brought some to the freebie table at StitchCon. But we have stuff here that I did bring that bag in to show you some of what we found at the thrift stores. So the first thing I'm going to show you is a Save the Stitch. I think I remember seeing this pattern somewhere, and my gut is telling me that it's a Barbara Anna, but I don't know. But as you can see, it's not done. We paid $4. And so I'm wondering if any of our wonderful watchers out there in Flosstube land, if you know the name of the pattern, we would love to know it. if you have the pattern and would let us borrow it so that we can complete this stitch, then that would be, oh yeah, I'm cutting my head off. Then we would appreciate that too. I think it would be a cute little Christmas pillow.
Big Christmas pillow.
Yeah, a big Christmas pillow. And then I found some charts. 50 cents. 50 cents I paid for these. Number one is P. Buckley Moss.
Where'd you get those?
The second to the last thrift store. I found a cardstock Prairie Schooler.
This thread was never.
I found this one, and I don't know if we bought this for her or for me because it's got cute little farm animals, but it's also got watermelons on it. So one of us will do that. And then I found this one. Look at the labels on this one. And this Campbell's label, let me tell you, somebody at StitchCon stitched a Campbell's label, except it was condensed, cream of condensed orts is what they stitched on it. And they actually put it on a soup can, and it was absolutely amazing. So kudos to whoever did that. If it was you, please comment below because I would love to say good job. One of the other thrift stores, this might be the find of the shopping trip, but little one's like, hey Mom, it's a whole kit. Yes, it is. Can you see this? It's a Hobby Lobby kit, originally $32. We paid $2. It comes with Ada, I believe. I don't know if I've opened it, but it's got all of the colors and they're already sorted, which is the thing that I despise most about starting kits. So I love that, well, some of them are sorted anyway. So, Anna Tice or Thice, I don't, and somebody might have been stitching on this at StitchCon, or one that looked just like it. So I don't know when she's gonna happen, but for $2, she was coming home with us. I found this cute little penny rug. So I got that. And then another kit. Again, I don't know when I'm gonna stitch it, but I've seen this one and admired it. It is also an Ada, which I don't know that I will use Ada, but that was also $2. And then, yes, little one will show you her find.
I got a bunch of Ada, and some of them are interesting colors, and they're a bunch of different counts, and some of them are really small, which will be perfect for whenever we go to StitchCon next, because I'm going to stitch needle minders for needle minder swaps.
And yeah, they came bundled like this for $1. Can't beat it. So that was our thrift store finds. So we stayed in the same place again Wednesday night and got up bright and early Thursday morning and drove the 3 or so hours down to Sharonville. And so we got to Keepsakes at like 10:30 because I wanted to make sure I got a parking spot because I knew that there weren't many spots there. So we pulled in at 10:30 and we were just gonna chill until they opened at 11. And then Jen came out and said, "Come on in." And so we got to go to the store early. There was nobody there when we first got in, and then like 5 minutes later, somebody else came. But the whole time we were there, like, it was not crowded at all. We got to look at all of the models. Again, I'll show you what I bought in a different video when we actually have it with us. But we spent it was over an hour we spent there. I was the first person to check out. We got to meet Linny and Joe. And it was just a great visual eye candy kind of place. The models were amazing. Little one was a little disappointed that she didn't get to meet 310, but 310 does not like people and gets upset when Barbara's not there. So 310 was in the basement. So from there we stopped at Jim Dandy's and got a barbecue lunch. And then we went over to the convention center and we got there at like 12:30. Yeah, it wasn't much past noon, but we got there and immediately ran into Donna Ray, so that was wonderful. And we stood in line because there was still a line to get into the stitching room at 12:30. Apparently there was a line very, very early, which explains why there was nobody at Keepsakes, because everyone was standing in line at the convention center. So we got in. I was shocked at the number of people that were already there when we got there. Mm-hmm. I kind of thought people would be more likely to arrive like around 3 if they were flying or driving in, but there were a lot of people there. So we found a table right in the corner near the doors and the brag table, and we plunked our stuff. But I didn't actually get to sit down until 3 o'clock. So for the first 2.5 hours, I was just talking and meeting. It was so amazing to just be able to hug people, and that, you know, we feel like they're our friends because we know them from their videos. And so it was really a great time. And so finally at 3 o'clock, I sat down to stitch. And I worked on the autumn piece that, again, I'll show you next time, from Brenda Gervais. I got some filling in done. There's brown for days on that one, and I did not get many strands in at all. So that one, the reason I chose that was because it had the most that needed to be done, the most filling in. And I figured in my optimism that I would work on it Friday or Thursday, and then Friday and maybe Saturday morning I would touch everything else, and then I would be able to come back to it Saturday evening or Sunday. But that did not happen. But that just means that I have a project that's all ready for the next retreat whenever that happens, or just to, you know, stitch on when I'm watching TV. No, it's a fall project, so I'd like to get it done for the fall, but I don't know. We'll see. What did you work on Thursday?
So I worked on Land That I Love, and then I also...
Do you have that? Show it.
Yeah.
How come you brought all your stuff in? You're like way more with it than I am.
Because they're all in handy.
Because you were well rested, because you get to sleep in the car, and I did not.
I slept for an hour, and then I stitched a little. So this is... It's a finish.
Lizzie Kate?
Yep. Land That I Love.
So tell them what you did ahead of time.
So I outlined this blue box and did the stars. I outlined the grass and did the sheep. I outlined the house and I did a few of the words, and then I just filled it in and did the flag and finished the words at StitchCon.
So she got to ring the bell on that one.
I got to ring the bell twice because
yes.
The other project that I worked on Friday is Country Cottage Needleworks Snowman Trio. Right? Yeah, Snowman Trio. I just had this top border and this bottom border, but it's cute, and I have no idea how I'm going to finish either of these. No idea.
Yeah, that one's a little big for an ornament, so maybe a pincushion or... Who knows? We'll figure something out.
Most of my Friday was spent walking around trading needle minders, so I have a bunch of them, but I do not have them with me right now.
A bunch is an understatement.
Can't wait for next year.
Okay, so Friday night, we left the stitching room at 10 o'clock when it closed. I did not get to bed immediately thereafter. I needed time to decompress. It took me a while to be able to hook the laptop up to the Wi-Fi and, you know, message the husband and let him know that we were all good. So it was probably close to midnight on Thursday when I got to sleep. And then I woke up bright and early Friday morning. Lorraine and Vicky and I did our morning walk. So we got our half hour of cardio in the hot, humid Cincinnati weather that reminded me too much of Guam. But it was lovely just to have a time to walk and talk with them and get to know Vicky and spend time with Lorraine. Rags to Stitches USA. If you're not watching her, you should be. So then we had breakfast at the hotel, which the Hyatt put on an amazing breakfast spread. It was a hot breakfast. Yes. It was fresh eggs that were not packaged. They had ham that day, and they always had a hot oatmeal bar and delicious fresh fruit and yogurt. Like, I just cannot recommend the Hyatt breakfast enough. And the rooms were amazing. They were absolutely gorgeous. So very, very happy with the facilities at the Hyatt. So we made it to the Stitchy room at 8 a.m. when it opened, and I decided I was working on Friday. I was working on Penny Pumpkin by Scarlet House that I won in a giveaway from Cindy's Cross Stitch. And again, I will show you what I got accomplished when we get home. But I decided I wanted to spend time getting to know people. And so my little game was that I would take my project and a strand of floss and go sit in a chair. And I would stay there until one of two things happened. Either the original owner would come back and claim their chair, and of course I would give it back to them, or I would finish my strand of floss. And so I would get up and go back to my table, which was kind of home base, refill the needle, and then go sit at a different table. And that was something that took me out of my comfort zone, because believe you me, I would rather have just sat in a corner and stitched. But it was so fun getting to know people, seeing where they were from, seeing the projects that they were stitching on. So I'm really glad I did that. I would highly recommend giving that a try for those of you who are attending StitchCon next year.
I did that a little bit, but then I was just like, you know what, I'll just stay at home base.
Yeah, you got around, because the first 3 tables I went to were all, little one was just here and left us. So it was fun getting to know people, and nobody seemed to mind at all that I just plunked myself down. They were very welcoming, so thank you for including me in your tables. So that was Saturday. My Penny Pumpkin, I accomplished my goal, because my goal was to fill in the black urn and fill in the white pumpkin, and I did get both of those done. So that project is actually pretty near a finish, and will be done definitely in time for autumn. So Friday at lunch, we went to Skyline with the Massachusetts contingent. Hi, ladies. It was Amy, Gable Stitcher on Flosstube. It was Apple, Who's Your Apple on Flosstube, and Deb, who does not do Flosstube but is also from Massachusetts, and the 2 of us. And so we went to Skyline because, for those of you who are not familiar, Cincinnati is famous for their Skyline chili, which is served over spaghetti. And the secret ingredients in the chili are cocoa and... I
thought it was cinnamon.
Cinnamon, yeah. Cocoa and cinnamon, 2 secret ingredients. So I had Skyline before because, as I mentioned, hubby has family in Ohio, and so I had it during one of our visits through. She had never had it before. What'd you think?
It was good.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not like, oh my gosh, this is so outstandingly excellent. But if you're in Cincinnati, you gotta try it, right?
At first it was a little weird, but then I was like, you know what, it's food, I like it.
Yeah. So we had a lovely lunch and got to know the Massachusetts people. We thought it was pretty ironic that, we probably live maybe an hour away from each other, and we had to come to Ohio to meet face to face. So that was a fun time. And so Friday afternoon, I continued hopping from table to table. And then at 5 o'clock, we had Fancy Friday stitching. So I threw on an old ball gown that eventually is going to get donated because I don't have that many balls left to attend in my life. We had found a beautiful kind of flapper looking dress at one of the thrift stores, and it caught my eye, and I had her try it on, and it fit her like a glove. So we bought it for $3, and that's what she wore to Fancy Friday stitching.
Price tag still on it.
Yes, and as promised, I got to sit with Donna and Shauna and meet them and spend some time talking to them, which was fantastic. And so we left. We didn't stay until 10 o'clock that night. I think it was 9:30. But again, I did not get to bed at 9:30. I was still up probably until 11:30, just kind of decompressing and organizing the freebies and stuff that we had gotten. And so again, Saturday morning, Vicki and Lorraine and I walked, and we had breakfast, and we went on into the stitching room, and I decided that I would be stitching on Sparrow because I want it done for the fair. I wasn't going to bring it with me, but I decided to, just so that I could work on it and try to meet my goal of finishing 2 pages in the month of June, which I did not, but I came close enough that I'm not very far behind. So I decided, since it's a big project and there's so many colors and yada yada, that I was not going to travel with the Sparrow. So I sat at my seat and worked on filling in some motifs that I had outlined previously. Lots of people got to see it, so I'm really hoping that some of you who said that you had it but hadn't started it yet will go ahead and start it, because it's such a fun stitch. And I'm nearing a finish, so I can't wait to share that with you all. Did we talk about what you stitched on Friday?
I don't remember what I stitched on Friday. What did I stitch on Friday?
I don't remember.
I think I worked on Land That I Love Again.
Yeah, I think so.
And finished that. And I think I might have worked on Abigail.
Yes. You want to show them Abigail? Have they seen Abigail lately?
They saw it before. Ooh, you get to see one of the needle minders I got. Who's this from?
That's from Buckeye, right?
Yes. Yes. She doesn't know this, but she gave...
Nicole, Buckeye Stitcher.
She gave us a needle minder, and she said it was one of her favorite books, and it's one of our favorite books, too. This needle minder came from Nicole, Anna Green Gables, and then this needle minder came from the Frugal Yankee Retreat. This is it now. We have to frog out this little bit because we're just going to use continuous color. And this is the corner. I got to the corner, and so I didn't get as much done on it as I wanted to, but I got enough done where I'm happy.
Yeah. And so you also started your watermelon.
Yes, I did.
Oh, tell them the story.
Oh,
About getting it signed.
so this watermelon project is a pattern by Sue Hillis, and Sue Hillis was there, and she wasn't talking to anybody, so I went over and I had her sign it. I'll cover up my name when I show the pattern. So this is what it would have looked like if I used the original colors, but I didn't. I have changed the colors to match a different watermelon design, but before I show it, I want to show one of the scissor fobs I got. I was meeting people, going around on the tables, and this nice lady said, "My sister makes scissor fobs. I have a bag of them to give away. Choose one." So they're purple beads and shiny beads and a little thing on the end that says create.
And the thing that I love most about this is that it's symmetrical, which is exactly the way I make mine.
Yeah. And it matches my scissors.
Yep.
So,
if that was you who gave her the scissor fob, please comment below, because there were so many people that we did not get names for everybody, and I regret that.
mm-hmm. So this is how far I've gotten. Just have to stand far. Yeah, I've rounded the corner at the bottom. I've got one watermelon done, and I'm working on the next.
And she's doing it on linen.
Yes, I am. That's why I didn't stitch on this in the car. I stitched on a needle minder in the car.
And then Saturday, we went to Chick-fil-A and got to have a nice visit with Donna Ray. Nice, quiet, uninterrupted visit with Donna Ray. So it was wonderful to spend time with her. In the afternoon, I was working on my big toe design that I showed you a long time ago, and I just saved the straight lines to stitch. They took me way longer than I thought they would, and I didn't have burlap. I must have taken it out of my project bag for another project. So Candy Stitches saved me because she did have some burlap, but I still haven't finished it. Really wanted a StitchCon finish, but that's okay. So then Saturday night, it was, again, I think we left the stitching room at like 9:15. We were just really tired.
Mm-hmm.
This morning, we slept in. We did not go for our walk. I was worried that I was letting Lorraine down, but I said, Lorraine, I think I'm going to sleep in on Sunday, and she went. So she didn't mind. So we got a little bit of stitching done, and by a little bit, I mean a really little bit. This was the only one that I brought with me because I thought I might work on it tonight in the hotel.
She didn't get a StitchCon finish, but she did get a StitchCon start.
Yeah, this was my StitchCon start. It is, what's it called? Heritage Sampler. I almost said Liberty Sampler, and I knew that was wrong. So I'm making some changes to this one, which I will talk about later, but here it is. My whopping start. So I worked on that from like 8 to, I think it was 9:45, at which point I said, okay, we need to start saying goodbye now because it's going to take us forever to say goodbye. And
it did.
It did. And I wanted to be on the road by noon, but we also wanted to go to Five Guys for lunch. So I wanted to leave the convention center by 10:45-ish, and we did that. So it took us a while to say goodbye this morning. There were tears that were shed, but I think I did pretty good.
Yeah, you did.
So it was just so great to meet everyone. You know, that it's all the feels, and we're going to be coming down off the retreat high, and I was not looking forward to the drive home, but I think the worst is over. The stretch from Columbus to Cincinnati was the hardest for me. There was just a lot of traffic and a lot of trucks. But once we hit 80 in Ohio, it's just smooth sailing. It's been really easy. Pennsylvania's been easy. I'm hoping tomorrow that we don't hit much construction, and we should be home before rush hour. So I don't think Hartford's going to be an issue either. So we're at 29 minutes, so the camera's going to shut off soon. So I will upload this tonight. I will, if the hotel internet is, or Wi-Fi is good. I also took some footage of the freebie table, so I will try to upload that too within the near future. And then, like I said, we'll be definitely doing another video once we get home and have everything at our fingertips to share with you, because there's so much more to share. All right, Flosstube, fair winds and following seas.
Bye.